Greetings, YouTube. I was up until almost 4 a.m. last night discussing with several summoners their plight and fears with their alliance moving forward. Some of these summoners were part of alliances that got docked in Alliance War. Some were not, but feared that what happened to other alliances could happen to them. I don't know what I'm supposed to do visually for this video. I mean, obviously it's YouTube, so you need some visual component. This is mainly going to be an audio discussion. So I'm just going to show something I haven't done in like a year and a half. I've been Alliance War sober for a year and a half. It's been a great sobriety, let me tell you. So Alliance War is a huge part of, obviously, the top alliances and the tiers of Alliance War. But in general, I kid you not, I've heard from several summoners over the years that tell me, Prof, you may not enjoy it, but stop crapping on it, because it's the whole reason why I still play this game. It's the only thing I like about this game. I find it competitive, and I like the challenge, and I want it to always be in the game, and I open the app every day excited to do Alliance War. That's never going to be me, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to understand that perspective, but it doesn't mean I can't appreciate it just because I can't understand it. So the main feedback I've heard in the past 24 hours, and really I guess I should say about 18 hours, is that because Kabam and their clauses refuse to actually let alliance leaders know definitively who cheated and who cost the alliance the dock of points in their war rating and ultimately their tier, you're leaving these alliance leaders to either feel like they're paranoid because they have to look at their family, their alliance family, some of which have been around for years and years and years, now with trust issues because they looked at these people like friends, and now everybody's saying they didn't cheat. But if everybody says that they didn't cheat, they know that's not true because somebody cheated. Kabam doesn't just ban someone for no reason. We definitely have learned that over the years, despite how many people have told me that they were banned for zero reason. The only time we've ever been able to prove that that was indeed a mistake was when Kabam actually apologized to the players that were so good with Quake that they were able to make it look like they were using some program to run their fights, but indeed it was just perfect gameplay with Quake. But outside of that, yeah, it's definitely going to be on the user. So my heart goes out to the people who have to recruit for their alliances. Their alliance leaders, their alliance officers. These are people who have right now the impossible task of recruiting amazing members that also somehow aren't cheaters, even though you can't do a background check on anybody, and you have to just hope and pray that the person is as active as they say they're going to be, that their roster is legit, and they're not going to totally screw over your alliance, like so many have claimed that their alliance has been screwed over in the last 24 hours. I hope that Kabam is working behind the scenes to figure out some way to tag players that have been hit with cheating violations. In a perfect world, if somebody got caught cheating the game, they'd just be permanently banned. That might sound harsh, but if you really want to send a message to people who've been maybe cheating for years, especially if they're running some kind of program that automates their fights for them, you don't want to just give them a slap on the wrist. You want to make it to where they can't ever join another alliance. But part of the complication of this discussion is twofold. One, some of these people have tens of accounts, even allegedly hundreds of accounts, some of the same people that are running these bots. But the other thing is, and this is an entirely different discussion, and I've been hearing about this for years, and I've asked more questions than I care to admit, but I still don't fully think I even understand the Shell Alliance dilemma, other than that it is single-handedly the biggest issue that I can tag going forward that's affecting so much cheating in the game, jumping from shell to shell. And the other thing I have to say is, what do you do about it? How does Kabam clean up the Shell Alliance issue? How can you police that? And when I ask people that I trust who have come up with really great suggestions in the past to help police it, they have zero idea, because it just seems like it's something that's not going to ever be able to be policed effectively in a way that's not going to hurt players who are playing the right way. But then again, I heard the same skepticism for when they couldn't take away the gifting badge, for example. Or we couldn't figure out a way to have unit loaders dump Alliance Quest resources into especially Shell Alliances for AQ donations. And Kabam seemed to figure out those two things, so I don't know why they wouldn't have the ability to figure out this. I just want you to know, if you're watching this and you are still trying to figure out how your alliance got docked, and you really do believe with your whole heart that 29 out of 30 players are playing the right way, and there's just this one, as I said yesterday in my video, rooster in the hen house, somebody who's sabotaging the whole thing and refuses to cooperate, I feel for you. My heart feels for you. Because there needs to be a way for people who are volunteering their time. It's not like you get paid, right? It's not like you get any kind of incentives or major discounts to be an officer in an alliance. You're doing this because you love your alliance and you want to make it the best possible. And so if Kabam isn't able to come up with the system to help these officers out, there's going to be less people who are interested in being officers. They're going to be burnt out more fast. And there just isn't going to be a system at all to really be any kind of foolproof to know when you bring somebody in that they're not going to screw your alliance over. I am all for having Kabam continue to develop new protocols and ways to catch cheaters. That is absolutely something that I think every player who's playing the right way should be on board with. But what you don't want to do is cause such a paranoia with people who are doing it the right way in recruiting that they just end up quitting the game because it's just not worth it. And I have heard that feedback from several people today. It's not just something that's on the fringe. Like, I feel like it's a feeling that a lot of Alliance officers, regardless of what tier you're in, feel. I also want to say this to that note. If you are an Alliance officer and you're just burnt out, right? Maybe you just hate war. The best decision I ever made was to go to an alliance that did not do Alliance war. The second best decision I ever made, this was years ago, right before I was going to quote-unquote retire from MCOC, and this was before I ever made a single video on my YouTube channel about MCOC. So it's crazy how much different my life would have turned out had I stuck with that original plan of just walking away from the game altogether. But my point in this is saying, for 2 to 3 months, I just went alliance-less. I was not part of an alliance, despite the fact that Kabam tries to convince you that you can't enjoy the game without being in one. That's a bunch of hogwash. And yes, that's a Southernism in Oklahoma. Hogwash. I loved that I could log into the game when I wanted to, but I didn't have to worry about holding anybody up in Alliance Quest or Alliance War. I didn't even have to worry about help requests or refilling or sending requests to refill some of the energy for not only questing in general, but also my arena teams. Because when you're not in Alliance, nobody can help you. But what they don't tell you is that means there's just less to do on a day-to-day basis, and that actually gives you some mental health clarity back, some relaxation, and some freedom to not be tied to this crazy addicting Marvel Casino mobile game. And so if you're watching this and you're burnt out of Alliance War, you're just sick and tired of it, maybe you're burnt out of being an officer, but you still love the game and you're trying to figure out what to do, either go to a semi-retired alliance, a retired alliance, or no alliance and just relax. At least for the next month. If the gifting event comes back and suddenly you want to be in an alliance to trade with people and do all of that, then that makes perfect sense. But that is my best advice to you that I've seen proven over the years, including on my own account, really helps the mental health of players. Well, there you have it, YouTube. Let's keep this video under 10 minutes and try to get some feedback from you. What do you think? Is there a solution not only for Shell alliances, but also just for helping alliance officers know that they're potentially recruiting somebody shady? Is it possible, or is it just a lost cause? I appreciate your comments already in advance. And as always, thanks for clicking on this video. Have a great rest of your day.